Oh, crap. Crap in a hat. You guys, if you are unaware, I am the conductor of the Hot Mess Express. All day, every day, nothing ever simplifies that. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we will be doing a WIP Chat, working on the... What is this called? Mad Tea Party, I think? I don't remember. I'll leave it all down below. Anyway, it has been crazy over here, so I'll get into that, but before we get into it, a few boring housekeeping tips. If you hear a noise directly to my left, I do have a fan running. I am recording this while my tiny human is sleeping, so you will definitely hear lots of tiny human noises. So, oh, and if you hear a timer, rewind. If you hear a beeper, it's my timer. You guys, I am scattered all over the place. No surprise. You guys haven't seen me post a WIP Chat in a hot minute. Life has been pretty chaotic in our household. It's very strange. The greens in this kit are full of static and full of a lot of trash. Just the greens. I don't know. If you were wondering what a WIP Chat is, a WIP is a work in progress, and that will be when I work on whatever it is I'm working on, and you work on whatever it is you're working on. Does not have to be crafty. It can be. But it can be a craft project. You can do another diamond painting. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do some laundry, do some dishes. I mean, nobody ever wants to do those things. But if you want to feel like you're not doing them alone, go for it. I am cycling between a ton of different pens because of the different multi-placers. Okay. Before I get super into it, it has been, when I say it has been chaotic in my world, it has been chaotic in my world. So, when I am filming this, it is Sunday. Depending on how much editing Lindsay needs to do, hopefully not a lot, then I'm hoping this will go up today. If not, my plan is to have it go up tomorrow. If you guys are playing at home, you ever do that? Just put it too close to the tape. There we go. Just want to fix that up. For anyone who is playing at home, the update videos for the Alice in a Winter Wonderland event, they started out as I was going to do them every week, and for whatever reason, life just keeps getting in the way. So, if you are looking for your little Easter egg in this one, it will be in this one, and it'll be your opportunity to become a featured account for the next event update video. I don't know why I haven't addressed this before. You don't have to be participating in the event to be a featured account. All you have to do is just screenshot whatever it is that you see that you think is the Easter egg. And I've had a couple of people ask me, the Easter eggs are always like 2 seconds or less. They're not something that's on the screen for an extended period of time. And all you have to do is take a screenshot of it and send it to me on Instagram. If you're the first person, then you will become the featured account. So, anyway, let's get back to life. So, I have not had a chance to film a WIP Chat this week. And then it's just been one of those weeks. You ever have one of those weeks where you're like, am I ever going to catch a break? Is it ever going to slow down? Are things ever going to just, you know? No, the answer was no for this week. So, for those who follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I'll leave all my info down below. I have an Instagram and a Facebook group, and I always share all that information. That was too much. I got overzealous. So, oh god, there's a lot of static in that. If I seem like I'm all over the place, I mean, I always do, but if I seem like I'm more all over the place, I am. I Wasn't sure if it was smart for me to actually like, sit down and record this or not. But I want to get something up for you guys. And I am one of those people, I enjoy doing a WIP Chat because it's very, like, cathartic. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me down below. But it really is. It's like a little therapy session. Okay, all of these, I just poured these in, and I'm, like, putting the pen down, and they're jumping. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Of course, now it's not going to do it, because I just said that. So let's talk about the big things that happened, and that's why a lot of this, let's zoom you guys. Hey, it's the power of the Zoom. I don't know why I just did that. You guys, I'm losing my mind. I'm like straight up losing my mind. Anyway, so my husband was in the hospital. Let's talk about that briefly. And, he's okay. He is on the mend. He ended up getting cellulitis, which if that's not treated in a timely manner, can actually like poison your blood. He's had it before. It happened to be in a very inconvenient location in his leg. Usually he gets it in his calf or down on top of his foot. And I'm not going to get like super medically here because this is not something I'm well versed on. And this is not something that I think a lot of people are going to find an appealing conversation. And if you do, like, good, I'm not going to be the one providing the entertainment. So they ended up having to lance him and drain his leg. And due to COVID, you know, you can only be in the hospital by yourself. So they said, oh, don't worry about it. Your wife can take care of it. And he's like, oh, yeah. Thinking, like, they don't know my wife. If you guys don't know, I'm not good with needles. And that's a huge understatement. If you want to know how not good with needles I am actually phobic about needles. There's no needles involved in this. I don't know why I'm telling you that. But I'm not really one for doing well. So my husband went to the hospital. He got out Wednesday. Wednesday? Yes, he got out Wednesday because Wednesday was inauguration day. These are just jumping everywhere. Excuse me. So, he went in Tuesday. So, Monday he went to urgent care. So, at this point, it's almost a week. Or by the time you see this, it'll be a week. And he went to urgent care. And they put him on some antibiotics. And they said if it doesn't improve or it gets worse, go to the hospital. So it didn't get better, and then it started to get worse. So if you hear my audio trail off, it's me. My drills, I can't keep my drills on my desk because I don't have enough room. And then I'll get into this. But I had to print a copy of the legend because the legend on the side here has the symbols and the DMC codes. It doesn't have the numbers. I'll get into that. I would say remind me, but there's nobody here to remind me. So anyway, so he ended up going Tuesday to the hospital, spending the night, and then came home Wednesday. So he came home from the hospital, like, during the time of the inauguration. So, like, I love my mom to death, but she was like, did you see this and did you see that? And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm currently picking my husband up from the hospital, taking him to CVS to get his medication filled. And then we sat in the drive-thru for 45 minutes. I don't know why it was taking so long. And then we got our medication. And then MedExpress called. And they said, oh, are you taking, you know, X, Y, and Z? And he's like, no, they told me to stop. And he didn't realize that 2 different places were calling him. So that he ended up, he's on all different things right now. He's on a bunch of antibiotics, and it's been a long couple days taking care of him, taking care of the baby. And don't get me wrong, this is part of what being a spouse is. This is part of what being a mom is, and I'm not complaining about that. But when you have a child that doesn't ever stop, and then you're dealing with all that stuff alone because your husband's in the hospital, and then you're taking care of your husband, it all kind of caught up to me. And thankfully, my husband had a little movie date with the kiddo yesterday so that I could just sleep. Just catch up on sleep. So I have to change his wound twice a day. So we do it in the morning when we wake up, and then we do it in the evening after our kiddo has gone to bed. So like 8 o'clock. So it's not like my day has been more disjointed, but like I said, I was not cut out for this, and he's been a very good patient, and he's told me I'm doing a really good job with it. I'm not, hurting him or whatever. And I am totally out of frame there, but it is just a lot of things happening at once. So then, for anyone who has been around for even just a little bit, and you've heard our journeys with the OT who is terrible, I finally put my foot down and I said, I can't do this anymore. This woman was causing me so much distress and stress and anxiety, to the point that the one day after my kiddo's session, I took her nap time while she wasn't napping. No surprise. That's another thing. My kid she's taken like one nap in like the last week and a half. It caused me so much distress that I ended up crying myself to sleep during her nap time. I was just so overwhelmed. And I have been really struggling because this is who they're telling me is the person for my daughter, but she's not doing anything for my daughter, except for causing my entire family to just be overwhelmed and stressed out. And so they finally came back and they explained, she is the OT for my school district, but the thing is, everything's virtual right now. And I think I've explained this before, but my kiddo hasn't been diagnosed with something severe enough. And if you're not watching and you just heard it, there were air quotes there, to qualify for in-person services. That's not to say that other kids don't qualify for in-person services, but it is telling me my child does not qualify for in-person services. So they said there's 2 other options of OTs we could try out. But they did let me know, look, this isn't going to be one of those things that you go through this one and then you go, well, we want to try the other one. And my kid has been in early intervention services from 15 months until when she aged out at 3. And then now we've been in the IU for a couple months. This is the first time I've ever had a therapist that I wanted to not just get rid of, but change. So, because of the way it works, my daughter qualifies for 2 OT sessions a month, 2 special ed sessions a month, 4 speech sessions a month. So that breaks down to how it was working was we have speech every week, and then every other Friday we would alternate between OT and special ed. Well, this new OT, she can't do Fridays because that's not the day she's available. No big deal. But I said I would like it to still alternate weeks with special ed so that we're not having 3 sessions one week, 1 session the next week. She said that's totally fine. Well, the first session would have been on Martin Luther King Day, which is the schools were closed, all that's closed. So we actually are going to go a couple weeks without OT. And that's fine. We'll, pick it up. So now I'm going to have therapy sessions Monday and Wednesday one week, Friday and Wednesday the next, and then just alternate that back and forth. So now I need to get a good planner, one that's easy for me to follow, one that's easy for me to keep up with. That's my biggest problem. I know there's so many people out there that love planners. I go real gung-ho in the beginning, and then I just fall short in maintaining and keeping up with things. But it is, and everybody says, why don't you use your phone? I do use my phone, but if I'm not checking my phone, then it does me no good. And now I have to change it because things that were recurring are no longer recurring because I have to change the dates. Anyway, it's a whole lot of confusion, and one of my goals every year is to stay organized, and it never works. I mean, if it's not evident by, look at my desk, you know, like, but I need to keep things more organized at home with our therapy sessions, adding in my husband's doctor's appointments and things like that. Not that he has a whole lot, but he does have some, and, you know, we want to make sure we're not overlapping as best we can. And, like, my kiddo still has doctor's appointments. Not many, but she still has some. So, obviously, I don't want to send him on an appointment at the same time that she has an appointment. I am the queen, by the way, in case anyone's noticing this, of putting a color away and then finding a whole section that I missed. So, yeah, if you guys have really great, affordable planners, let me know your recommendations. A bunch of people had mentioned the happy planners, and what was the other one? I forget what the other one was. A lot of people said happy planners. I get really overwhelmed when there's too many options of things, though. Story of my life. Anxious parents have anxious children. But this week was also fun, or interesting, or whatever words you want to use to describe it. Our old therapist through early intervention. She was a godsend to our family, and I absolutely adore her. Take a quick sip of my coffee. And I'm one of those people, like, I can't, sorry, messy, put it on my desk because I'm scared I'm going to knock it over because I'm a klutz. She was our SI therapist, so basically it was like play therapy, and we absolutely adored her. And they dropped us from her services towards the end because they decided a lot of her issues were no longer behavioral but sensory based. So instead of having behavioral and sensory, and like OT, they just gave us OT. But we've stayed in touch, and even though they dropped us from her, we still aged out not much after that. So she's now in the final process, I guess, of becoming a virtual preschool teacher. So she had asked us if we would help her, and we did. And so we did an online session with her. It was us and another family, and it was wonderful. Virtual school, virtual therapy is not the same thing as in person. It never will be, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, maybe it could be. No, it's not. It's definitely not. Especially when you have like little kids who don't understand how it's all working. You know, like your teenagers out there, they know how to use the technology. They probably know how to use the technology better than you. But it was refreshing to have that with her, and we did an art project, we sang some songs. It was wonderful, and I hope that she gets the position because she's absolutely an incredible human being. And if I could send my kid to like wherever she is, I would. She did so much for my family, and I'm sorry. I've got a lot on my plate this week, so. Although I feel like I'm always crying in my own WIP chats, but that was lovely, and it was well needed, and B enjoyed it, and you know, it was all about animals on the farm, which is one of her solid go-tos. You know, when you're 3, animals, dinosaurs, songs, colors, those are your jams. But yeah, so I'm excited to start with the new OT. I hope that she's a better fit for our family. I absolutely adore, if this has not been specified yet, I absolutely adore, excuse me, our head teacher and our speech teacher. Our SLP, or speech language pathologist, said Briar's doing really well, which is good to hear. So she has been working on her end syllables. So it'll be a lot of like boat, up, stuff like that. But my kiddo doesn't have a problem so much with those as she does with middle syllables. Like the people who say button instead of button. She tends to drop the middle syllable. Which, you know, a lot of people tend to do that for a lot of words, but she does it on words you wouldn't expect her to do it, and then we don't know what she's trying to say. But we've also been realizing that a lot of her frustration with communication is... I don't know what I was going to say there. Her therapist doesn't think that her inability to communicate when she's frustrated is a speech issue, and it's a behavioral issue. And then we get into the age-old question of, well, how the hell am I going to get my kid good behavior services virtually? Do I just deal with them on my own until we can safely resume things? Or do I do something else? Or do I try to do the virtual? Or what? I don't know. There's not really a real or a good answer for any of this. But let me tell you, being a parent, no matter how old you are, how old your kids are, it's exhausting. And more power to those who are doing virtual learning with kids of multiple ages, with multiple devices, and multiple learning platforms, because it is no joke. No joke. And I think a lot of times people forget that, you know, parents, well, we're not cut out to be doing this. This is not in your manual of how to be a parent. Teachers are also learning how to do this. And my husband comes from a family of teachers, and most of them don't enjoy doing the virtual learning because it's hard. It's a skill set they didn't learn in school. It's hard to wrangle kids and get kids to pay attention no matter how old they are when you're doing things virtually. It's just, you know, my heart goes out to all those people who had to redo so many aspects of their lives simply because they had to have their kids go virtual, or they had to make their job go virtual, or whatever it is. So, I'm really hoping that 2021 brings some more hope and, ease, I guess. I guess that's the word I'll use. But it's just been, you know, the never-ending struggle in this house this week. And for everyone who saw my post online and reached out and asked how my husband was doing, or messaged him to ask him how he was doing, we both really appreciate it. And we are... I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's like giggling away. We're just trying to adjust some things at home to help keep him healthy. And, you know, trying to do all that while surviving in winter indoors with a toddler who desperately needs outlets to burn that energy. So I have decided that any day that is above freezing temperatures, that we'll take her out. Now, this has kind of been put on hold because we were back and forth at the hospital and the doctors and things like that. And my husband and I, we have just been using my car. So... And we also didn't know how long he was going to be in the hospital, so I had dropped him off, which is why I had to pick him up. And, you know, she's still not understanding that daddy's hurt, and daddy can't just, like, lay on the floor and play with you the way He has to heal up a little bit better. But he has his follow-up with the surgical team next week. And it's a 7:30 in the morning appointment. I'm like, I'm going to be sleeping. They can check your wound. They can do all of that. I will take the day off. And he giggled because he's like, oh yeah, I'll have them do it. So he's like, I'm not going to have you do it and then have them take it out and look at it again. And I was like, well, thank you. But we also had a nice high this week, which was I ordered a charcuterie tray from a local place here. And if I remember, I will put it on the screen. For some reason, I thought my my, whatever this is, my phone. Oh, you guys, stopped recording. It didn't. I'm losing my mind. For those who, this is the first time you're checking out one of my WIP Chats, thank you so much for joining us. I'm always a mess, but I'm feeling it more today than normal. Let's just say that. So, we had a charcuterie plate. And for those who don't know what charcuterie is, it is cured meats and cheeses and crackers. And it was absolutely fantastic. We had it as a little date night after the kiddo went to sleep one night. And there was so much in there that we ended up having the rest of it the following night. Friday nights is drag race. And if you guys watch Drag Race, let me know who your favorite is this season down below. But my husband and I, we do Drag Race every Friday night. And so we busted out the rest of the charcuterie for our little Drag Race date night. And I was loving it. And it was so good and so fresh. And I think that the cost of it was good because I don't know if you guys have ever priced out charcuterie, but it can get very expensive. And this one had brie and Havarti and a blue cheese and I don't remember the name of the harder cheese that was in there, and tons of fresh fruit. And she was really, really awesome, the woman who created it. If you have anything that you don't like or don't want, she'll swap it out for something else, which she did for us. So that was super exciting, and it came in a really beautiful presentation, and highly, highly recommend if you're looking for a fun little date night idea. See if there's anyone local to you that does one, or make your own. There's tons of options you can do that are cost effective. All right, let's grab a couple colors. All right. So when I had said something earlier about the canvas here. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, my nose is running now because I started crying. Isn't that the truth? So, the legend on the side of this canvas has the DMC and the symbol. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I kit up, I like to kit up. These labels didn't make it through the whole way. Like, it was too big to put through my Xyron. But I like to put them in number order, which is typically lowest to highest of DMC anyway. But when I'm looking at that list over here, the legend, and I see the symbol and the DMC color, or the DMC code, I am looking for the number on here to find it more quickly in my container of drills. To me, it's much easier to find number 9 than to find 647. So I took a picture of the legend. We don't have a printer, so this is a whole ordeal. I just put this collage in PixArt. Oh, PicCollage, not PixArt. And my husband printed it when he went to Staples to get boxes made. So this has been a real lifesaver, but it is incredibly frustrating because it's taking me forever to figure out what colors I need and where they are. So, have you ever worked on a kit where you can't tell why you don't love it? Because definitely feel like that's something that's happening with me here. All right, so we got those 3. Let's see. And then also, the symbols, like everything you can see, it's printed really dark. So, of course, I probably need the other tray. Oh, no, here they are. So, do you guys like the coordinating washi tape, though? Isn't that cute? That came from Katie over at Diamonds and Washi. Shout out to you, Katie. Whoop, whoop. If I remember, I'll link her. I think that we both at this point just have like permanent staples in each other's videos. So anyway, yeah, it's been one of those things that I don't know why I don't love this canvas. Probably, this is my thinking, it's a diamond painting. We all know it's a diamond painting. It is an Alice in Wonderland image. However, as you can see, there's nothing Alice in Wonderland here. Above this tape here, I still have another section before I even get to Alice stuff. I think that's probably what's throwing me off. And I'm slowly trying to figure out why I'm struggling with this canvas. This green color, I swear, just shedding everywhere. Oh, good. My child's jumping. So you know how they say, oh, people hold their weight in their butt or their hips or their thighs or their belly. My kid, I'm telling you, she holds all of her weight, all 26 pounds of her, in those feet of hers. She is directly below me, and I swear when that kid jumps in her room, the floor here shakes. Like, what are you doing? She turns her room into a jungle gym. Sometimes I can't with that kid. I love her dearly, but, oh, my goodness. And I know she's tired, so... But yeah, so I've just been, like, the image is beautiful, and I love the way it looks. The drill quality is nice. The canvas is nice. When this is done, and you guys get a post review for this, this is going to be the most, like, bipolar review, honestly. It's just going to be so up and down. Let's grab that. Let's do a second color. Because I like the canvas and I like the drills. I'm just not sure why I'm struggling to enjoy what I'm working on. I mean, a lot of that probably also has to do with I've had a chaotic week and, you know, when you find things stressful, it's sometimes hard to find enjoyment in things. And this is something that I do to help relieve stress. But it's starting to add stress to my plate, which nobody wants their craft to add stress. So, I have a feeling when I'm done with this image that I'm going to love the overall effect of it. But in the meantime, I am struggling on this. I'm not going to lie. And I know a lot of people will say, if it just doesn't spark joy, just, you know, get rid of it. And, well, that's true. This wasn't an inexpensive canvas, and there's nothing wrong with the canvas. It seems like it was user error. You know, like, if I don't like the image I chose, whose fault is that? Nobody's but my own. You know what I mean? Like, trying. I'm trying to get back into a groove, but it's just been tough. And I was talking to one of my friends, and she's like, why did you get it in a square? And I was like, I have no idea. I honestly don't remember when I purchased it if I didn't realize that it came in square and round, or if I thought, oh, well, the square will give more definition, or I don't know. I don't know. Story of my life. But that is not the right color. I just boldly put that right in a different spot. But, for all you people who use tweezers to place, I don't know how you do it. As I just place one. But, yeah. I'm also realizing, I was telling my husband this, I feel like I'm outgrowing my space here. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I have a lovely drafting table that I'm currently working on. And I have it flat right now. I have it flat pretty much all the time now because I've got too much stuff on my desk to tilt it. But... my husband always makes fun of me when I say this because he's like, enough about the wall. I am up against a wall directly to my left here. So if I have a really wide canvas, it can't hang over the right side because that's where the storage containers drawers, whatever, of this table are attached. And that's where I have all my pens. So it would like knock everything over. And I can't do anything about it on the left side because it's up against a wall. Which is not a big deal when I'm working on something that doesn't take up the width of my desk. So this is a 60 by 60 and I am struggling because I am like, my elbow is like all cropped up against my arm. So then I end up actually physically uncomfortable and my arm and my shoulder will end up hurting. And then I'll just be like, I don't want to work on this. And I will take time, which is fine. I am not one of those people that diamond paints every day. I'd love to be, but I can tell when it is physically playing on my body and that I just need, you know, a couple days to recover from it. Or if I want to give my mind a break, you know? So, anyway. I don't know if rearranging the furniture up here will help. And obviously now is not the right time after my husband just has a large incision in his leg. Which I wouldn't ask him right now anyway. But I don't know if I rotated my desk, if that would help. Or if that would corner me further. Or if moving it elsewhere. Like I talked about moving it over there where my, not mine, his, the card table is. Where I do a lot of the bigger unboxings. But then I would have cables running across the whole floor. You know, I need a light pad. I need a phone charger. I need, unfortunately, I need a ring light for certain recordings. And that's just a few things. So, we'll see. You know, I'm not one of those people who can look at a room and go, oh, you know, if you just shifted this here and did this and moved this here, it would, I can't do that. Like my best friend, she's one of those people that every couple months she rearranges her furniture. And I don't see the benefit to myself in that. And I don't know, I'm like, how many ways can I move this stuff around? Like, how's it going to be any different? But I guess it is. And, yeah. This is probably the most boring WIP Chat ever. So, I do apologize. I just really felt like I had to get on here. I mean, it's nice to connect with you guys. But, also, I had some stuff I wanted to get off my chest. And, I haven't been live. I couldn't even tell you last time I went live. Which, speaking of which, that will be coming soon to the channel. You heard it here. I don't want to say you heard it here first, but you heard it here. Yeah. So, more details on that coming soon. It's something that I've been talking about with one of my friends for quite some time. And we just kind of wanted to worry about it after the event, at least, was underway. And for those who don't know, if you were watching this in present time, Alice in a Winter Wonderland, there's still like a little less than 3 weeks left. So if you have a canvas and you want to start it, feel free to join us. I definitely know what I need to change for next year. So, oh, I think my husband just went in there. Yep. It's hard to tell on the monitor if he's in the room or if he's talking to her over the monitor, but I'm 99% sure he's in there with her right now. So if you guys hear that, that's what that is. But yeah, so there will be an Alice in a Winter Wonderland 2022 unless something huge happens between now and then. And it seems like everybody's been enjoying it so far, so I really do appreciate seeing my news feed full of gorgeous Alice images, of people encouraging one another. You know, any finish, I see so many people sharing other people's finishes, which is so heartwarming. And I've said it before, and I will say it until I am blue in the face, but we truly are better together when we uplift one another than when we try to bring someone down to lift yourself up. So, That was a lot of ums. I'm excited. We've had a really good turnout for participation. So for everyone who has participated, thank you. For everyone who has engaged with those, there are some people who, they didn't do an Alice canvas, but they're always in the comments and sharing it really is wonderful. And I know, I love, like, when I get that, oh, somebody tagged you and they shared your post. And it's like, oh, how cool is that? So I have been trying to do that as much as I can with all the finishes, unless somebody has specified otherwise. I have had a few people prefer to just remain anonymous, and that's cool too. Whatever works, you guys. Diamond painting is a fun thing. It's that's what it should be about. It should be about enjoying it and not a competition sense or anything like that. Sorry, I had to grab another color. I'm feeling like I may actually get more done than I anticipated. So anyway, what colors did I just pull up? V. So there are a lot of events this year, and it's kind of amazing to me because you see people announcing an event, they're like, starting next week, and you're like, starting next week? I don't know about you guys, but I tend to do an event, I participate in an event when I already have something that fits that criteria in my stash. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that I already have an excessive stash. Like, I don't need to add more to it to participate. Now, if somebody came out with something that I was like, I have to be a part of this, and I didn't already have something for it, that would be different. But I have not gotten to that point yet, and I don't know what the next event that I'll be working on is, but I have an idea of what I want to do next in terms of my canvases. And for me, I don't know if you guys are the same, the hardest part about diamond painting for me is always figuring out what to do next. So for me, I used to love all of the events because then I could be like, oh, perfect. This one is something that has something green in it. I have something that has something green in it. Let me participate. Which, as far as I know, there's not an event that has something green in it. I was just making that up. But hey, if you wanted to start that event, you know, go ahead. If you guys follow Mr. and Mrs. Dubé on Instagram, they have an updated event calendar in their bio, and it's, you know, available to anyone to look at. And if you are hosting an event and it's not on there, just shoot them a message and they will add it to it. So, I don't know what the next thing is that I'll be participating in, but my next plan for a canvas is the Sparkle Queen creations that I just unboxed from Mitzi. If I remember, I will link it up in the eye. If I ever say that I will link something in the eye or the description box and I don't, please just kindly let me know. I'm human and sometimes I forget. And if I'm doing a WIP Chat that's like an hour long, sometimes, like most content creators, you don't listen to the whole thing back. You just get what you need to, or you just publish it, and that's that. So, but all I ask is that you do it kindly because, you know, nothing will be beneficial if you come at me and try to attack me for forgetting to tag something or having a broken link. And I have had people reach out to me and say, oh, hey, you know, you said this and it didn't show up, or that link didn't work and I fixed it and it was no big deal. So, but I just want to remind people, be gentle, be kind, because, well, first of all, you should, because that's the decent thing to do. But you never know what somebody is going through. You never know when you see somebody what their daily struggles are like or what their world is like, you know, pandemic or not. It's tough out there, guys. And if you're one of those people that is thriving through the pandemic, that's amazing. Hopefully you realize that that's not how most people are. There's one woman, my daughter and I rep for a bunch of small shops. And there's one woman who is always like, my life is great. Everything is great. I don't understand. And I'm like, I don't understand why you don't understand why this is so hard for people. You know, I've been in my home for quite some time, but even if I was out and about doing things, my child's still not able to socialize in the way she should for a kid her age, or not able to go take classes in person. Like, there's a lot of little aspects. You know, my husband and I haven't been on a date outside of our house in a year. I mean, it could be more, because, you know, we don't tend to get to go on dates without our tiny human. But let me tell you, when the world is safe again and we can all freely go do whatever the hell we want with, well, I don't think that day will ever come, but your girl's gonna go on a date with her husband that does not include the tiny human being with her. Breaking news. You heard it here first. Pew, pew, pew. So, I mean, it's probably not really that breaking of news, but, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have certainly continued to purchase clothing as if I'm wearing anything other than pajamas and sweats and leggings for the past almost year. And, like, I bought these 2 cute dresses. One I thought would be really nice for filming purposes, but, I mean, as you can see, most of my filming, you just see my hands. But, I mean, they'd be nice to, you know, wear on a nice little dinner date with my hubby. Man, those are the days, right? Carefree dates. I mean, I say that as if, like, we were doing that a lot before the pandemic, which, if you're watching this in the future, yay, we survived. I'm trying to figure out where the plastic is. Oh, I've had a few people ask me, hey, how do you section off your canvas? And I'm just going to tell you this right now. Poorly, and it doesn't work out in my favor. So, there are lots of other people who have posted videos on it. I just will not be one of them because I still can't figure it out. And we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's definitely a weakness of mine. I cannot for the life of me. I peeled up the plastic yesterday after I trimmed it, and it shredded into 3 pieces. I was like, thank you. Thank you, canvas. You know, it was definitely, this week feels like every single day I'm like, it's just one of them days. And if you were born in, I don't know, 1995 or later, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Don't take it personal. I just wanna be. Okay, I'm gonna stop singing. Anyway, so how are you guys doing? Now that I've rambled on and complained for 48 minutes, how are you guys doing? I hope your weeks have been better than mine because, you know, it wears on you, you know? We are just in the throes of survival. That's the only thing I don't like. I don't know where the line of, like, where the plastic ends. I mean, you guys can probably tell better in the camera because, like, right here, you guys can see this in camera. And if you aren't looking up, it's just folds in the plastic. But I can't see that in real life. So, anyway. But yeah, it's been, you know? So, I'm ready for this week to be over and a new one start. I'm ready to meet this OT and Hopefully it will be successful. I'm ready to get into doing some fun new stuff. My kiddo got a teeter popper. Let me tell you, my sister wanted to get one for her birthday in November, and they were back ordered everywhere. Then I found a website and I ordered one, and it didn't say anything about being back ordered, but all of a sudden it was not coming. So it finally popped up on Amazon. It had like 8 left in stock, and I was like, yep. So I got that. If you don't know what a teeter popper is, it's a rounded, so think of like a skateboard, but in the middle it dips down. So I'm trying to show you the shape. So it's kind of like U-shaped. And then on the bottom part of it, there's suction cups. So every time she rocks back and forth, it like makes that bubble wrap sound. And it's very soothing and calming, and it gives her a way to stand on it, to climb on it, to work on her core balance. It's a really great, I definitely am enjoying it. But she's decided it's going to be almost like a wagon for her little toys. I'm like, kid, what are you doing? She'll put all of her little figures in there, tote them around. She got some squigs. This was a week of just buying all sorts of things off of Amazon. And if you are an adult, you know those kinds of weeks. It doesn't matter if you have a kid or not. It just happens to be that this week she decided, you know those sticky hands that you get in like the quarter machines at the supermarket? She decided she really liked the texture of that. I got one as a freebie in with a purchase from a small shop. But she didn't understand that they're delicate, so she tore the hand part off of the string and then proceeded to have one of the biggest meltdowns maybe that I've ever seen her have. Because she wanted it put back together and could not comprehend that you can't fix that. It's not something that is fixable. And so I was like, what else is made with that same material? So I bought her these balls. And I'm sure you've seen the Instagram ads for them where people are just throwing them. Oh my gosh, look, you throw them on the ceiling and they stick on the ceiling and then they drop off the ceiling and then, oh, you can just keep juggling them. Well, I was reading the reviews for those, and some of them are like, they're not sticky at all. And then the other reviews are, they've been on my ceiling for 3 weeks and I can't get them down. So I was like, I'd rather find the ones that aren't sticky on the off chance that my kid does throw them on the ceiling, because it's the last thing I need. However, my husband is a giant, so he can reach the ceiling, so I guess I really shouldn't have worried that much. But anyway, so I got her those, and she's not nearly as into those as she was into the sticky hand. So it was a lot of, we're just trying a bunch of different things to see what satisfies you and calms you down. Fills those sensory cups, if you will. Also, what keeps my child occupied. And she's been having an unusually difficult week. But I will say, kids know when you need them the most. Yesterday, I was just, like I said, my husband let me sleep. And I shouldn't say that he let me sleep. He just encouraged me to take all the time I need. And I laid down, and I definitely needed it. I ended up sleeping for, I'm not even sure how many hours. And don't you hate it when your wax won't release the drills? And there was a point of what I was telling you. Oh, so I was sitting on the couch at one point, and she just came up and sat right next to me. Didn't have to say anything. I didn't say a single word. And she just put her head right in my lap and just looked up at me. I love you, Mommy. Those are the moments you live for as a parent. She's just been having a really hard time. I don't know if we are calling it communication. I don't know what we're calling it, but she's been having a really hard time. And that was really wonderful to have that moment. The big thing right now, and I know like I said, I know that my kid is speech delayed, but I also know at the end of the day, oh, see, that plastic was still there, that some of the things that she's struggling to communicate with, it doesn't seem like it's language based, if that makes sense. So, for example, she's not really truly understanding hunger cues, thirst, things like that. So one of my favorite things that she does, and I say that completely not meaning that, is she goes, I want something. What do you want? I want something. But she doesn't know what something is. And then she freaks out. And it usually turns into a full tantrum, if not a complete meltdown. And really complicates things. And it makes it hard as a parent because you want to get your child what it is that they need, or you want to figure out a way to soothe them or to even pacify the situation. And I have no idea. Like, what is something? I want something. So I'm realizing she's not understanding that something isn't an overall, but I don't know how else to explain to her that what specific something do you want? But the other thing is, she doesn't understand hunger until she's starving. Until she is in so much pain that she just starts screaming at you because she needs to eat something. But then she'll say, I hungry. What do you want to eat? I hungry. And she can't form words. Now, I know this is true for anyone, adult, child, whatever. When you're frustrated and you're mad and you're upset, that is not the time that words are going to come to you easily. That's why it's more difficult to come up with a cohesive thought when you're screaming at someone or being screamed at by someone. So it's hard, but then I will say, do you want a cheese stick? Do you want fruit? Do you want, like, I'll offer her the things that either we have or that I want her to eat. She's a good eater. I'm not doing it because I'm worried, but there's times where, like most toddlers, she'll only want to eat the snack, and then when the meal comes around, she's no longer hungry because she ate all the snacks. And I know what you're thinking, why not make dinner earlier? Well, sometimes I can't make dinner at 4:30 because, first of all, I'm not 78, and it just, sometimes she's not hungry then. Anyway, so it's just very frustrating because I can't get her to tell me what it is, and then I'll repeat everything, and she'll just say, I hungry. And then whatever you offer her is the wrong thing, which I know that's totally normal, but it's driving us insane because all day long she wants something but doesn't know what it is. And she also does something fun. She goes, I like it, but I don't like it. But I like it, but I don't like it. But I like it, but I don't like it, over and over and over again. And she keeps doing it now because at first we used to giggle at it. And I think she's doing it now to get a reaction. But let me tell you, it's like, are you indecisive or are you just trying to perform here, kiddo? And I think it's a little bit of both. You know. You guys, I feel like I've been rambling on and on and on. Which I guess is not really anything any different than any other WIP Chat that I've ever recorded in the history of me recording WIP Chats. Which, you know, is like, what, a few months? But if you guys have any great planner recommendations, please leave them down below. I've had a few people tell me, you know, Michael's and Joann's have some good ones with coupons, but I need something that I can order online or that we can do a curbside pickup for, because I'm not about to face the craziness that are people in my area head on by, ooh, almost dropped that, one of us heading into a store for something that I don't consider a necessity. But well, I guess this is a good place to wrap up. I'm guessing that the conversation with the tiny human went well because I haven't heard her rambling in quite a while. But if you guys have made it this far, as always, thank you guys so much. Let me know, what is your favorite order from Dunkin' Donuts? Let me know down below. I've noticed that their coffee has been super inconsistent recently, which is a bummer. Anyway, Thank you guys so much for being here. If you are new, I hope that you enjoyed this and that I haven't scared you off quite yet. If you are returning, thank you guys for being here. As always, thank you so much for all of your love and support and all your kind words. Make sure you give this video 2 thumbs up, 1 real life, 1 virtual. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And make sure you hit that notification bell. I do not upload on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time and I record while she is sleeping or sleeping. So, thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys!